Hello?
I'm going to beat the out of you.
What do you mean?
Don't even try. You'd be fired right now if you weren't doing as good as you were. My demand is simple. You're on your own for the rest of the year. You are not welcome at our shop, and our focus is on your replacement and making sure they succeed. Good luck in the playoffs. You won't be getting anything from us.
A bit of an awkward way to start the episode and the regular season finale. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode. And yeah, calling makes it straight. They are not going to be helping us for the remainder of this season. Not really surprised by this news, considering what we did. And as we start qualifying, there was a lot of questions around myself specifically this weekend that you're actually going to hear in the pre-race show, considering how I acted in my behavior on the track in Watkins Glen. I'm not proud of it, but it is what it is. We can't take it back now, and we start qualifying here with the expected dead last in this Daytona regular season finale. We'll go into all the storylines once it is race time here in a few moments. Now, Kyle Larson in the top 10 there, but on pole it's Denny Hamlin front row, Alex Bowman joining him, Gregson, Truex, Logano the top 5. Xfinity Series action on Friday night. We saw Trevor Bayne pick up the victory for Joe Gibbs Racing, my future team here, as you can see the rest of the finishing order on your screen all the way down through towards 36 place. But the focus tonight is the regular season finale. Who gets in the playoffs? Let's find out.
It's time for the regular season finale in Daytona, but all the focus is on the new villain on the block, Gary Owen this week. A lot have questioned him in the media recently, and this is what his future boss, Joe Gibbs, had to say.
I went through this with Ty, and I'll sit Gary down and have the same conversation. He's got a lot of potential, but loses his cool easily. Plus, he has a team filled with weak leaders who don't steer him in the right direction.
I think Joe said all the right things there. For Owen, however, I think the rest of the year will be very difficult, and he won't really find out until the playoffs.
All right, boys, let's have a good night and cap off this regular season with maybe a 4th win. No comment there from the crew chief. We're going to be forced to talk to one another at some point, that's for sure. But nonetheless, getting ready to roll here from Daytona in the regular season finale. You saw or heard the talk there in the pre-race about us specifically. Now, Joe Gibbs even admitted to questioning his decision, but said he's going to sit us down and have a conversation, and kind of like what he did with his grandson of Ty Gibbs in the Xfinity Series after that Martinsville incident with his teammates of Brandon Jones. Nonetheless, we got a race to do. It's the regular season finale, and for like the 3rd time this season, we're just trying to focus on the racing, not the drama, in our 2nd season of Cup Series action. We're already locked into the playoffs. Kyle Larson's already locked up the regular season championship with 1 win on the season, and it's been Hendrick Motorsports' dominance in the regular season battle. Larson, Elliott up there, as well as Byron, who starts back here with myself there, but as well, right now, the 30 car of Ryan Vargas, who was originally SVG Shane Van Gisbergen, won at the Oval in Kansas. That car is currently in the top 30 in points, so that car needs to fall out of the top 30 in points tonight, and the only car that can really realistically do that is the 62 of Gregson, who starts up front, so hopefully Gregson can get some stage points. So if that 30 car goes out, which he should, Tyler Reddick will be the last car in the playoffs on points. However, we could still see somebody in the top 30 pick up a victory tonight. It is Daytona at the end of the day. Colleague Racing, I mean, we need 2 of our teammates. They're both in a must-win situation to advance into the playoffs. Allmendinger as well as Daniel Hemrick. Daniel Suarez in a must-win scenario. Alex Bowman in a must-win scenario as well. And everybody around me, McDowell, Briscoe, etc. Austin Dillon, as we make a little bit of contact there with the 14 down this back straightaway. But yeah, obviously not really a real points race going for the final playoff spot here in Daytona, but it is going to be a race for victory. Ty Gibbs, another one, his 2nd season in Cup Series action, trying to make the playoffs here, but he is going to have to find a way to get that first win of his Cup Series career here tonight. Now, as I'm a bit surprised we've gone this far, and Ty Gibbs has yet to pick up a victory Morola just in front of myself here now. His future in the Cup Series sounds like it will be coming to an end. There's still some announcements on the way, especially going into the playoffs starting in that next episode here. But yeah, stay tuned on that now, as we're already past the halfway point here in stage number 1. Only 8 laps in stage 1, so not a lot of time to work with. Of course, the regular season finale race a bit shorter than the actual 500 by 40 laps in real life, and by about 20 laps here in the game now, as we're up the inside of Tyler Reddick with 2 laps to go in stage number 1. Down into turn 1, wheel to wheel with that Monster Energy machine. He will make the playoffs as long as there's no new winner that's outside of the playoffs tonight. It is pretty simple for Tyler Reddick here now as we approach the final lap of stage number 1 up the inside of Ross the Boss Chastain. And don't forget about the bracket challenge. Just one group of cars left, or drivers. It's Bowman versus Chastain for the $3 million. How about Alex Bowman, who is probably not making the playoffs, but he has a chance to win the $3 million bracket challenge? And right now, he's not far ahead, but he is ahead of Ross Chastain on this final lap of stage number 1. Ty Gibbs leads the way out of turn 4. I've got help from the 21 behind, right back to the back bumper again. Gibbs will win stage 1. A stage win isn't going to do him anything. I back off the 48 just to make sure I'm not making contact across the line, because that would bring in the glitch where basically my car is just really slow to start on the next restart. So P20 in stage 1. Not too bad. We're going to come into the pits. We're going to get 4 tires as well as fill it up on fuel. You see Cole Custer up there in 3rd as well for that number 12 car. Ryan Blaney will be back in the 12 car next week, actually, starting the playoffs in Darlington. Unfortunately, obviously, he will be absent from this season's playoffs, as Ryan Vargas actually out of the race. Right there, you can see that's going to be big right there. So now Noah Gregson only needs to finish, let's just make it simple. If he finishes on the top 30, that will put Vargas's car out of the top 30 in the points, and that storyline there will be over, and we won't have to worry about an awkward playoff situation that I would have to, do a manual way of fixing. So things now are looking very good as we're back underway for stage number 2, right behind the Hendrick Motorsports and regular season champion driver of Kyle Larson here as we go on this run towards turn number 1. Last season's regular season champ, and that's Christopher Bell. And if you remember this season, I mean, he was kind of cool all season long. Once the summer came around, he heated up. He was able to get 3 wins, and now looks pretty good going into the playoffs, although he's kind of cooled down in recent weeks as well. And Chase Elliott, I think, is a big one, and you see us now going around the outside of that Coca-Cola number 9 Chevrolet, actually 3 wide on the outside now, not exactly where we want to be, but Elliott, I mean, was so hot in the first, I don't know, let's say 15 races of the season, and he has really cooled down since then. I don't know if they're just really focusing in on a playoff push. 5 wins on the season already. It's been a great season. However, if he is not able to advance, say, to the final 4, that would be quite a disappointment. Still, at the end of the day, I really don't know going into the playoffs who the championship favorite is going to be. The championship will be determined in Homestead, Miami. You would have to think Kyle Larson, so good there. He won there last season in the career mode, but at the same time, he has struggled to find victory lane this season. Only 1 win, and that was recent at Indianapolis. So I don't know who the favorite is, especially with Elliott cooling down lately. But we go 3 wide in between the 14 and my former teammate of Justin Haley, who would actually side draft me into the corner, so we would get a bit disconnected from the car ahead of Chase Elliott. Now, as you can see, we were still 3 wide in the middle, down the back straightaway here, trying to get ahead of this number 51. Help from the 45 of Reddick. Finally, we would get clear into turn 3. Now 12 laps in stage 2, starting lap 4, right to the back now of that 9 as we cross the line. Now Smoke up ahead on the rundown towards turn 1. I back out of it there. There's the caution, and I believe it's hard to tell, but it might be Stenhouse. Yes, it is. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. with a tire failure right towards the front of the field. The caution is out. Harrison Burton for Stuart Haas Racing in the number 10 out in front over my teammate of AJ Allmendinger. Keselowski, Gibbs, and now Gregson will advance into the top 5 as we get ready to go back racing here now midway through stage number 2 from Daytona International Speedway. It's been an interesting race so far, pretty calm of course, but I expect it to get a little bit crazier as we go. We're back underway halfway through the 2nd stage, right lined up behind that number 9 Coca-Cola machine. The inside line, a terrible start right there, and Elliott might take this opportunity to jump jump down in front of his potential future teammate, is what I'm hearing, is Corey LaJoie. Could be eyeing up that 48 car if Alex Bowman is on the way out. And with us leaving Calling at the end of the season, there is rumors circulating that if Bowman is out, LaJoie goes to his car, Bowman might be going to my car in the 16 for next season and bringing Ally with him. Of course, this is all just speculation, so we'll have to wait and see, exactly where this goes. But from what I'm hearing, we're going to find out pretty soon where this is going to go. And we come towards now lap 8 of the stage, and we close in back towards this top 20 here, which is where we finished stage 1. But you see I jumped down behind the 9 of Chase Elliott here, just kind of letting things roll. The inside's where you want to be, of course, if you really want to be able to make some headway and go forward throughout this pack here in Daytona. Now up front, Harrison Burton, he was leading, but he actually jumped to the outside. That gave the lead to the 17 of Chris Buescher instead. Buescher, a multi-win season for him. His owner and teammate Brad Keselowski still looking to find victory lane, hasn't done it, but he will be in the playoffs. So last season we saw no RFK machines in the playoffs. This season we're going to see both of them in the playoffs, so that's very cool and exciting to see how they're going to do. I think Keselowski has the potential to go quite far and deep into the playoffs. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he made it to the round of 8 here, as he has been pretty consistent. He just, kind of like Larson, hasn't been able to find victory lane, but obviously hasn't been as strong as Kyle Larson here now as we approach these final moments of stage number 2. Allmendinger on my outside, we clear him here. Logano just behind the 62 of Gregson. So far that 62 car has scored no points at all, so that means that the Vargas car is still in the top 30 in the standings and in the playoffs as it stands. So don't be surprised if you see me specifically helping the 62 in stage 3, just to make sure we can avoid that awkward playoff situation because of the Shane Van Gisbergen oval win. But we start the final lap of stage number 2 on the run down towards turn number 1. A lot of single file up front. The field is being led by the number 11 of Denny Hamlin. On the far outside, that's Josh Berry going backwards. Of course, another Cup Series rookie who has to find a way to win his way into the playoffs, but he might not even be in the top 30 in points. We have seen improvement out of SHR in recent weeks. They've actually been able to crack the top 20 quite commonly. We know they're downscaling to 2 cars next season, and I think that's when we're going to see some genuine potential out of that team once again. And we know Priest is already leaving now as we get a big push from the 20 on the exit of turn 4 down the front straightaway. Hamlin is going to win stage number 2. Another playoff point to his name. 1-win season so far for Hamlin after picking up that win early in the season at Richmond. No stage points for us. McLeod in second. Truex, Keselowski, Eric Jones up there as well. None of the Legacy Motor Club Toyotas in the playoffs right now, as all Toyotas except for Gibbs and as well as the 43 car and the 42 are in the playoffs. So we expect to see Tyler Reddick get in as long as there is no new winner. So 4 tires feel once again very simple, getting us set up for the final stage of the regular season. This is now quite literally, no pun intended, the big stage. Everyone's got their final opportunity to get to victory lane and get inside the NASCAR Cup Series 2024 playoffs. Now, stage 3 is underway. It's 14 laps of racing. On the inside, you got Denny Hamlin, followed by 2 Toyotas, his teammate of Truex, and, well, an Alliance teammate of Joe Gibbs Racing, Eric Jones, in that number 43 Snapple pink and blue machine. What can they do? Look at this 3 wide already. The inside is prevailing because these 2 lanes are pulling each other back, so not a good start for us if we're up here. As you can see, the cars on the inside going by. Buescher, Allmendinger, former teammate of Haley, the 10 and the 9 are getting together. I jump to the inside in front of another must-win, Daniel Suarez, to my back bumper on the run into turn number 3. Suarez fighting for his career at Tricoast Racing as he is going to be on the way out at the end of the season if he misses the playoffs. Now to the back of my teammate of AJ Allmendinger with 13 laps to go.
All right, man, if you can help AJ win this race, it would do a lot for you, I think, with this team.
I'll do what I can.
Now we are in a position where maybe we could help colleague out, and on top of that, trying to help a teammate, we also have to help the 62 to an extent. We need to make sure the 62 stays in the top 30, so you are going to see me trying to help him as well, just to make sure the playoff grid doesn't get absolutely ruined, basically, here. But look at us going forward now with Allmendinger on the run down towards turn number 1. And our other teammate of Emmerich just been non-existent tonight here in a must-win deal. He's just run, midfield to the back of the field, basically all race long. Right now, Noah Gregson is up towards the front, which makes it easy for me. We can continue committing to the back of our teammate of AJ Allmendinger. Last episode, when we were pushing the 13, it wasn't for good reason. Today, it is now as we continue through 1 and 2, coming to the final 10 laps of this race, right to the back of the 13, pushing him into the top 5, now passing Hamlin, looking for the overtake on Truex, as well as the Toyotas start to dwindle up front. It's Gregson, as well as Josh Berry, Joey Logano, as well as we head down into turn number 1. Now with 10 laps to go officially, you can see we are getting into the mix here as we continue to just follow this 13, as they're going to go to the outside, and we're just going to continue to follow Allmendinger on this inside line, give him a nice push, but Gregson would drop to the bottom while Barry and Logano stay committed to the outside here now as we exit turn 4. So we'll push Allmendinger in a second. He has to win this race. We have to get him out front. Lined up behind me, it's the former teammate of Justin Haley. We get Allmendinger to the inside of the 62 of Gregson here, and now I'm trying to play the double team here. I'm trying to make sure the 62 is in good shape, because if he gets stuck on the outside like this, he can go outside of the top 30 in just, 2 to 3 laps. So I was trying to make sure that doesn't happen, just for the sake of the playoff grid, as we continue on across the stripe here. Now, of course, if that was a full-time driver of Ryan Vargas that had the win, it is what it is. It's not a full-time driver. It was Shane Van Gisbergen in one of his handful of starts that picked up the victory on the oval, but his car is in the top 30, so obviously in real life NASCAR, this would not even be an issue, but in the game, unfortunately, it is, because there's no actual part-time driver system. So I had to sacrifice inside line briefly just to make sure I could get to the back of the 62 to make sure he can stay going up towards the front of this pack. Now, once we get to a few laps to go, and we know, okay, he's not going to jump outside of the top 30, it's a free-for-all, we're going for it at that point now. But Allmendinger out in front, Haley now to second, Suarez following on the inside. I mean, look who's in a must-win up here. Allmendinger, Haley, Suarez, all of these guys right here on the inside line have to win this race. So if you are Tyler Reddick right now, you are terrified, because yeah, you're in the playoffs, but look at all these cars around you, as Suarez would get to the inside of Haley and then the inside of Allmendinger, who left the inside open. Suarez to the lead here in Daytona. Now, of course, as a Suarez fan, you can imagine I desperately want to see Daniel Suarez win this race here now to save his career at Trackhouse Racing now, but 5 laps to go here from Daytona. Suarez jumps up to the outside, and he covers the 17 off instead, so he stays out in front now, as finally the 62 is going to get down, so we can really focus in on trying to get back forward. But now as well, the goal to try and pick back up on my teammate of Allmendinger. Suarez again to the outside, Todd Gilliland to the inside, going for the lead here in Daytona. Now, as you can see me leaving a bit of a gap between myself and the 62, allowing the 13 to have an opportunity to jump down to the inside, but right now he's not taking it. And look at the gap I'm leaving between myself and Gregson to just allow Allmendinger with 3 to go to get to the inside, because we can hook up and win this race. It's pretty straightforward. Suarez still leads into turn 1. The 17 crashes in front of the field. The caution's gonna fly. This is gonna force overtime. That could have been way bigger than it was. Fortunately, we survive. Allmendinger down to 7th, myself in 4th, Suarez, Gilliland, the front row for NASCAR overtime in the regular season finale. We'll try this again. We'll rack them, we'll stack them, and a lot of names up here have to win. Suarez, Gilliland, Cindric has already got a win. He's locked in the playoffs. Ty Gibbs-O, Allmendinger, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Josh Berry as well. We're ready to go green. The green flag is back out here. 2 laps remain from the Daytona International Speedway regular season finale. The bracket challenge, don't forget about that. Bowman or Chastain, who beats you? We'll have to wait and see. In the background, you can see a bad start from Ty Gibbs. Allmendinger, he's going to force it 3 wide into turn 1. He's going to run into the side of me and shove me out of the preferred lane, and that's definitely going to be a bit of payback from the way I raced him in Watkins Glen. He has given us the short end of the stick here as we exit turn 2.
Yeah, I don't even blame him. I deserved it.
I deserved it 100%. I'm not even mad at him. It is what it is, but we can still maybe find a way here. Down this back straightaway, approaching the final lap. Suarez out in front. He's already thrown it away because now Gregson up the inside, followed by Cindric, and Kyle Busch out of nowhere is in the mix now. It's a free-for-all at this point as we exit turn 4. We can't push the 13 to victory at this point, just with the awkward spot that we find ourselves in. Trying to force it there 4 wide. White flag in the air. It's Gregson leaving the door open for the 2. Allmendinger slides on the exit of the tri-oval. He makes a great save. We're going to dive down in front of him and actually across the rear bumper of the 51 of Haley, who's now slipping and sliding. We're not lifting. We're trying to push these guys forward. It's absolute mayhem. I'm getting shoved from behind from the 13. A big stack up. Cindric to the inside now of Gregson down the back straightaway. Is he about to win his second race of the season? And what was a miserable season for the 2 car. He's got a chance to have the most wins of any Penske driver. He leads the way through 3 and 4, bringing Kyle Busch with them on the exit of 4. We continue to fade 3 wide in the middle. Austin Cindric down the back straightaway is going to bring it home and go to victory lane at Daytona for the second time in his Cup Series career. P11 for us. P12 actually, as Truex got us at the line, and Tyler Reddick will get the final spot in the playoffs. There, no new winner, and the winner of the bracket challenge, Alex Bowman, 22nd over Chastain's 32nd, $3 million win to Alex Bowman here in the Busch Light Bracket Challenge, a potential high for what's about to bring a potential career low for the Alex Bowman, his future going into this career mode. What a race. Unfortunately, things didn't quite work out. Things didn't align to help our teammates win. But here's the playoff grid. We start the playoffs 24 points above the cut line, seed number 2. As you can see, though, the drivers in danger: Reddick, Keselowski, LaJoie, Bubba Wallace, and they are all very close to advancing. This is going to be, similar to last season, a very tight playoff starting at the most difficult oval in the world at Darlington. Extremely excited for that one. We're not going to have any help for the playoffs from our team. It's going to be tough, but we're going to do what we can, and I'm excited to maybe show it to them a little bit. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.